All right, day 4, path 14. We are in the chapter of Dagdagiel today. We're going to start in the Nightside of Eden, just like we have been. And yeah, we're going to get buckled in here. So make sure you get your hydration. Make sure you get your snacks, your pen, your paper. Grab your thinking caps and let's do this. Let's buckle in here. Focus and concentrate. Okay. Here is the image from the Shadow Tarot. There you go. Try to get you a good image there. Okay. Hope you're all having a good day so far. Let's get started. And remember, Dag in Hebrew means fish. So Dagdagiel gives us something to meditate on there. The 14th tunnel is suffused with the Kala of Venus, represented by the whore. Her Kabbalistic attribution is Dalet, meaning a door. The door that permits of access to her house or womb, and egress from it. Her cosmic power zone is Venus. This tunnel backs the first reciprocal path on the tree of life. Its infernal counterpart is the base of the pyramid, which, when inverted, is balanced upon the point of the Ain and the void of the abyss. The name of its sentinel is Dagdagiel. She may be evoked by vibrating her name in the key of F, sharp, accompanied by a crooning or lilting sound. Her sigil should be painted in vivid sky blue on a circle of bright rose rayed with pale green. Her number is 55, which is the mystic number of Malkuth, the power zone of Earth. 55, as 5 times 11, resumes the formula of magic, 11, set in motion or powered by Shakti, 5. It is also the number of DVMH, silence, Duma, perhaps, Dalet Vav Mem He, I'm assuming, which is the formula of woman, Shakti, when she becomes pregnant with the child of light produced by the next Kala. The word him, H-I-M, presumably He Yod Mem, to swell, is indicative of this condition. And I-H-M, a metathesis of H-I-M, means to conceive, to have sexual intercourse, and to create. 55 is also the number of KLH, the bride, Kala, presumably Chaf Lamed He, the daughter-in-law, which suggests the cosmic bride Malkuth, the daughter of Yod He Vav He. She, that is the final term, He, of manifestation. The He Sophit in the Tetragrammaton. The daughter is the symbol of imminent return, of the incipient reversion of manifestation to its primal state of non-manifestation, of being re-becoming and non-being. I'll read that again. Of being re-becoming non-being. In the present eon, the son, S-O-N, is the child, but in the coming eon of Mot, the child will be the daughter. For at the end of that eon, Malkuth will once more return to its sleep of dissolution, pralaya, prior to a new manifestation. The idea of matter coming to an end recalls the statement of Al, presumably Liber Al, the Book of the Law by Crowley. This says I-6-6. The manifestation of Nui is at an end. The title of the Atu of this path is the daughter of the mighty ones. The theme is repeated by the word mut, M-U-T, presumably mem, vav, tav, but it could be tet. M-U-T, a form of mat, which also adds to 55, and which signifies to shake, waver, trotter, fail, decay, die. It derives from the Egyptian word mut, meaning to end or to die. The sigil of Dagdagiel shows the letter Dalet reversed, and in the form of a gallows, from which hangs an inverted triangle above the letters AVD. AVD, or AUD, presumably Aleph Vav Dalet, Od, is the magic light. This is sort of a callback to Od and Ob. The triangle is the inverted pyramid, set in the abyss, with its apex in the void, Ain. For this reciprocal tunnel is reflected into the gulfs beyond Keter. The implication is that the pyramid is the magic light or fire snake suspended from a gallows in the form of the woman of night. Note here, Lalit, or Lilith, the whore, whose vagina, Daleth equals door, is here reversed. Very interesting. This peculiarity shows that she is an initiate of the highest sexual mysteries, and that she possesses the special mark of the Scarlet Woman. There's a note here. The retromingent vulva. See Cults of Shadow, Chapter 7. Her totems are the dove, the Typhonian bird, the sparrow, and the sow. A note here for sparrow says, noted for its lubricity. Apparently sparrows have lubricity. In a holograph note in his personal copy of Liber 777, Crowley notes against this path, the column 37, against this path, the sow equals type of Venus, which matches Mars, opposed to romantic and other higher types. Mars equals boar. Okay. Mars equals boar if Venus is the sow. By this, he means that as the Virgin basks in the idyllic light of romantic or unrealized love, the sow wallows in the sty of sensuality. But the comparison of the sow of Venus with the boar of Mars comports another mystery, which may be fathomed only in terms of the draconian current. The sow, Babylon equals whore, is the cliffa, or outer shell of the goddess. There's a note here for cliffa that says, okay, so cliffa says an harlot. So, something to consider. Her inner mystery involves the Kalas of Kali herself, for she is the ultimate mother. In New Aeon terms, therefore, Mars is the cosmic power zone assigned to Ra-Hor-Kuit as the child, Har, of the present Aeon, because the blood associated with this zone of Mars is not the blood of the male shed in battle, but the blood of the female that embodies the child. There's a note here. See Chapter 10, Aleister Crowley and the Hidden God, for the role of the Martian current in the New Aeon. Okay, the dove is also attributed to the 14th Kala. The dove was the bird of blood, feminine source, before it became the bird of air, masculine spirit. First was Mars Kali Typhon. Then came Venus Nephthys New Isis. The magical power corresponding to this Kala is traditionally the ability to distill love filters. The phrase is a euphemism. This is so British. This phrase is an euphemism for the vaginal vibrations emanating from the Virgin in the form of sexual magnetism that attracts the creative light into her womb. In the verse of the grimoire pertaining to this Kala, it is written, "The Virgin of God is enthroned upon an oyster shell. She is like a pearl, and seeketh 70 to her fore, and her heart is Hadit, the invisible glory." The oyster is the typical aphrodisiac. The Virgin is drunk upon its shell, and seeketh 70 to her fore. 70 has a note that says, the erect phallus symbolized by the eye. Oyen equals eye equals 70 of the devil. And 4 has a note, Daleth, 4 equals door. So her 70 seeks a 4 is essentially saying that her Dalit is seeking an Oyen, which you can run away with that as far as you want to. And her heart is Hadit, i.e. Set, the devil himself, the invisible glory that motivates her desire. The Virgin thus becomes the whore, or, in the language of magical symbolism, the entranced priestess becomes enlightened or awakened. The Pythoness becomes oracular, being inspired with the divine spirit. Hence, the magical formula of this Kala is agape, the number of which is 93, which is the number of desire or will, Thelema, and of the devil, Iwas himself. All aphrodisiacs and all soft voluptuous odors are ascribed to this Kala, the presiding deities of which are Hathor, Aphrodite, Kapris Kataito, Kapris Cottyto, and in the tantric systems, Lalita, the sexual aspect of Shakti, power. It is, however, upon the African tree that the most significant attributions are to be found. It is the primordial magic of Equatoria. This 14th Kala is ascribed to the goddess Adudua, Odudua, Adudua, the goddess whose secret temple at Ado, near Bagadri, swarmed with the consecrated priestesses of her cult. They earned the name of the city of whoredom, of which Babylon was a later type. To the Ogboni, she was known as Ile, the earth. The 14th ray, or Kala, unites the cosmic power zone of Adudwa, Binah, with that of Onke, or Anansi. The 14th ray, or Kala, unites the cosmic power zone of Adudwa, Binah, with that of Onke, or Anansi, Hokmah, symbolized by the spider which later became the supreme symbol of the cult of Obi, or Obeah. These two power zones are the field of activity of the Obeah and the Wanga, the work of the wand and the work of the sword. There's a note here. It says Liber All, 37. The symbolism of this verse from All has been explained at some length in Aleister Crowley and the Hidden God. Here it is necessary to draw attention to the symmetry of the spider's web. In the tunnel underlying the 14th path, the web is not structured upon a plane surface, but occupies various planes, so that, from the point of view of an observer working on this path, the criss-cross filaments produce a crazy geometry. From within this tunnel, and viewed from behind the tree, however, the web is seen to go with infinitely tenuous threads of gossamer light. The web is seen to form with infinitely tenuous threads of gossamer light, the curious apertures of darkness that admit the gulfs of space between the back and front of the tree. At the midmost depth of this tunnel, the primal magical spell was cast, and the first of all magical circles, webs, was formed. It is here that the snake and the spider meet in one symbol. The snake is Ab, the lunar current from which Onke weaves his web. This says Cirque, S-E-R-K, note 13, goddess of the circle. Cirque and circle are synonymous in later language. Interesting. The snake is Ob, the lunar current from which Once, O-N-C-E, weaves his web. Cirque, symbolized by the scorpion, thus unites the spider and the serpent in one glyph. The work of the wand and the work of the sword are identical. Their fusion is the work of the Obeah and the Wanga, which is accomplished via the 14th kala. The word Od, A-U-D, and then parenthetical O-D, which appears in the sigil of Dagdagiel, is the magical light which flows from the yoni of Adudwa. In this tunnel of Adudwa, therefore, this appears as the pyramid. It is the triangle, yoni, and a further dimension, and surrounded by the web of filaments, or by the ring of fire, with which the spider and the scorpion are respectively associated. In his magical record, Crowley speaks of the tunnels, or caverns of fire, through which he was guided by a spirit fox during his higher initiations. Such an interesting... You don't often hear too many ceremonial practitioners talking about things that would be perceived as shamanic, but this is an instance. In his magical record, Crowley speaks of the tunnels or caverns of fire through which he was guided by a spirit fox during his higher initiations. Higher initiations, even, remember that. The fox or jackal, as already shown, is a zootype of Chagall, the god form of Shaitan Iwas. Its complement is the amorphous entity Koranzan, the guardians of the pylon of Da'at, which forms the apex of the pyramid, and is the gateway to the network of tunnels that slope down the back of the tree. The spider's web is the network of tunnels that leads to other dimensions. For what appear as mere interstices? Interstices or interstices? I've never heard that word before. For what appear as mere interstices on a flat plane when the spider has emerged from its hole are, in the depths of Ile, the earth, an intraspatial void, intraspatial voids, and dream-spanning gulfs of cosmic immensity. The Obeah and the Wanga are therefore the dual modes of transformation, whereby the human entity is translated into further dimensions via the vortices of the void. Diseases typical of the 14th kala are syphilis, gonorrhea, and nymphomania. These are glossed by the attribution to this kala of the most abhorrent African fetishes, or fetishes, I think is how it's actually. Champana, the deformed deity, whose symbol is a gnarled club, leprous with red and white spots. The element of nymphomania is evident in the succubi, or shadow woman generated from the yoni of the goddess, whose magical weapon is the girdle. The connection with the dream mechanism is obvious, although there is more esoteric explanation. The shadow woman is the means of dream control, for it is through her cincture, or magical circle. I've never heard that word before either. Cincture, C-I-N-C-T-U-R-E. The shadow woman is, I say I haven't heard these words. It's been a long time since I've read this. I should keep that in mind. The connection with the dream mechanism is obvious, although there is a more esoteric explanation. The shadow woman is the means of dream control, for it is through her cincture, or magical circle, that the dreamer enters dimensions that lie on the night side of the inverted pyramid, which is a projection of the yantra of the goddess. The formula has a sexual basis, and all that can be divulged has already appeared in my Typhonian trilogy. Note here after divulged says, not for reasons of secrecy, but because the formula may not be communicated in dualistic language, but only in the depths of the dream itself. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Lost myself in the note. Here we go. It is interesting to see how nearly H.P. Lovecraft approached the frontiers of these alien dimensions, or how closely they approached him. In the case of Charles Dexter Ward, he alludes to the sign of Koth, K-O-T-H, that dreamers see fixed above the archway of a certain black tower, standing alone in twilight. The black tower is the phallus of Set, the standing stone Set in the twilight of the abyss, i.e., in the crepuscular state between dream and the dark abyss of sleep. The word Koth, or Kotha, appears among the barbarous names of evocation which the Gnostics used in their agapoi, some of which Crowley restored Kabbalistically and used in Liber Samek. The central grimoire of the new Aeon that contains the ritual known as Congressus Cum Daemone. This is one of the most potent rituals extant, according to Crowley. It contains the formula of congress with the double or shadow self. In the elemental section, ascribed to the element earth, Kotha appears as the name of Hathor, the voluptuous goddess of sexual pleasure, whom Satan beholding desireth. Kotha is there translated as thou hollow one, the final A being evocative. Kotha. Koth, therefore, signifies the hollow one, the tunnel that is symbolized by the vagina and the female, which emits the tenuous plasma responsive to the slightest impress of the magically directed will. Concerning this elemental section of the grimoire, Crowley observes, you can say grimoire if you want, I believe it's grimoire, and I believe even plural is grimoire. Anyway, moving on. Concerning the elemental section of the grimoire, Crowley observes that the conception is of Earth, glowing, inhabited by a solar phallic hippopotamus of a venereal nature. A note after hippopotamus says the hippopotamus is sacred to Hathor. As Crowley observes, the idea is that of the female conceived as invulnerable, reposeful, of enormous swallowing capacity, etc. In other words, an apt symbol of the engulfing jaws of the abyss. Okay. Here we go. The word CHVTH, I'm guessing Chuth or Choth. Oh, it's Koth, yeah. So it's Ket, Vav, Tav. The word Choth, a form of Koth, meaning the beast of the reeds. Very interesting. Has the number 414, which is that of the limitless light, Ein Sof Or, one of the triple veils of the void beyond Keter. It is also the number of Azoth, A-Z-V-T-H, or Aleph, Zion, Vav, Tav. Azoth, A-Z-O-T-H, the fluid, i.e., the supreme secretion of the supreme secretion or kala that dissolves all molecular structure with its infinitely corroding light. Lovecraft has conceptualized this notion in terms of his own scientific materialism as Azathoth, the blind and idiot chaos at the center of infinity. Note here, in Crowley's system, Hadit is chaos at the heart of infinity. Nuit. The name Azathoth is composed of two distinct concepts, Aza and Thoth. According to W. Henning, Az is the evil mother of all demons. Well, and Oz is a Hebrew word as well. Oyen, Zion. Oz is the evil mother of all demons, coupled with Thoth, one whose types is the dog-headed ape, or Kynocephalus. She resumes the feminine side of the guardian of the abyss. Azoth compromises the initial and final letters of the alphabets of three ancient languages, Aleph and Tau, or Tav, A-T-H in Hebrew, Alpha and Omega in Greek, A-Z in Latin. The word Koth, as Chet, is 418, is a vital The word Koth as Ket, 418, is of vital importance in the new Aeon, for it is the number of the great work and its highest alchemical phase, the dissolution of all molecular structure, as adumbrated in all 244. Note here, the number of this verse, 44, is the number of Dim, blood, which is the magical image of the Scarlet Woman whose kala forms the subject of the present chapter, and whose tunnel is the abode of Dagdagiel. Okay, so that is the section on Dagdagiel and the Nightside of Eden by Kenneth Grant. Moving on to the Shadow Tarot by Linda Falorio. This is her information on this. Again, here is the image. Okay. The Shadow of the Empress. Through retroversion of the senses, we achieve inspiration. Drunkenness of the senses and the ability to see the world aglow with colored lights. Okay. The door of the tunnel of Dagdagiel is fashioned as an oyster shell, symbol of male sexual prowess, yet with the salt sea scent and shape of the feminine organ without. Sorry, I'm going to reread that. The door of the tunnel of Dagdagiel is fashioned in an oyster shell, symbol of the male sexual prowess, yet with sea salt scent and the shape of the feminine organ. Without is the chaos of the spider's web. Within, the web becomes a network of infinitely corroding light, whose interstices are black holes and interstellar space, midnight crossroads between dimensions, transcosmic vortices through the void that suck us unaware into the twilight dreamtime. Black holes, vortices that spew out, then suck the universe back upon itself into non-being. Dagdagiel is sensual. Debauched Venus, abhorred Alfito, the white one, the white sow, Phagmo Dorje, Phagmo Dorje, wallowing and mired in sheer orgasmic delight. Here is the profligate mother, who, not recognizing her own offspring, eats them with gluttonous delight. Here is the womb of time, eye of the void, gate for the Aeon of Mot, and high priestess of the mysteries, who bows before no man. Crawling upon the sigil in a ring of fire are the spider, snake, and scorpion, symbols of Circe, weaver of the first web, caster of the first circle. On the right is Adudwa, Erzuli Bon Rouge, Erzuli Bon Rouge, goddess of love, goddess of death. It's spelled Erzulibonrouge. Might be Bon Rogue, who knows? I don't know French. 4 is not love, called the little death, sometimes. Refusing none, she gives herself to all without distinction. Her consort, Beast Chagall, beckons her within to dream dimensions where together they distill the ultimate love wine, the blood essence, the milk of life. The Shakti answers with the sign of Koth or Kotha, the voluptuous goddess of desire, whom Satan, beholding, desireth. Dagdagiel meditation. The powers of Dagdagiel are those of drunkenness of the senses, the ability to see the world aglow with colored lights. Here is appreciation of and mastery of the green ray of nature, with the possibility of communication with and cooperation with the devas. Here too are sexual prowess and fecundity. Here is the power of communion with all life, the ability to make life thrive and glow. Here especially is the retroversion of the senses. It is the power to merge with all forms of life, with creatures, with all creatures, human and otherwise, with all races, cultures, creeds, the power to merge with all aspects of existence, to merge even with those which seem naturally repugnant to narrowed senses, without fear or harm. And here is the ability to find in this merging inspiration divinity, forgetfulness of self, orgasm, bliss, for here is the power of love, which denies none, and conquers even ravening beasts. Need to work with the energies of Dagdagiel may be signaled by a sense of inner lack of joy, the feeling of inability to appreciate life's simple, sensual pleasures. One may feel out of touch with one's body, with an inability to reach out emotionally to another. There may be a sense of premature physical and or emotional aging that results from bioenergetic body armoring, which may be signaled by experiencing irrational anger at / abhorrence of pornography. Here we find emphasis on rationality and analytic thought, with inability to live through the senses, to stay in the present, having too much focus on the future. Here too we may find lack of perspective, with fearfulness and inability to relax, to enjoy, and to go with the flow of the moment. Danger lies and lack of discernment and judgment when seeking ultimate oblivion. And the kisses of new. Danger lies in the dissipation, physical and moral, including diseases such as AIDS, attendant upon total hedonistic surrender to impulse and immersion in sensual desire, without thought of future consequences, and especially without the thought of mothering those we love. Okay. Last but not least, the path working suggested by Asenath Mason in Tunnels of Set. If you take anything from this, just take that combining multiple sources can get you closer to what might be true. Okay. Focus on the sigil and chant or vibrate the name of the guardian to attune your subconscious mind to the energy of the tunnel. As you do this, envision the image becoming alive, morphing and growing until you see it spreading before you like a landscape you can enter. Visualize clouds of thick mist flowing through the sigil into your ritual space, enveloping around you and blurring the border between the planes. They carry the smell of blood, female sex, and a scent of rot and decay. When you feel that the atmosphere in the temple has shifted and your senses are ready for the journey into the night side, extinguish the candles and close your eyes. See the vision of the tunnel building up in your inner mind and send a message to the guardian to guide you through the experience. Okay. Yeah, we still have plenty of time. Visualize that for a moment. Everything fades away and the whole world disappears. Then the darkness around you crystallizes into a scenery. You are in front of a black-red portal that looks like a giant vulva. There is a lot of blood flowing from it, and the moist walls are swarming with small spiders. As you enter, the spiders crawl all over you, and you feel the touch of their legs caressing your skin as you walk further into the blood-red light shining from the distance. As you move forward in the tunnel, the spiders start forming in the shape of a guardian, a huge spider with human skull. She walks ahead of you, guiding you into her temple in the heart of the realm. In the center of the temple is a huge pool of blood, which is hot and boiling. There you also see the priestess of Dagdagiel in the form of a naked woman, shamelessly exposed and ready for a sexual act. Some of them are already pregnant and close to giving birth. Some of them are already pregnant and so close to giving birth that the guardian may devour their offspring. Open yourself to whatever may happen in this realm. Feel free to commune with the guardian and her priestesses through a sexual trance if you wish. And when the visions fade away, travel back to your body and return to your normal consciousness. Open your eyes and close the working for the day. All right. That will conclude today's discussion of Dagdagiel. If you have any questions or comments or suggestions, concerns, then drop a comment. If you liked the video, make sure you click the like button. Have a great rest of the day.